Okay. Hello, Carolyn. Thank you so much for taking some time to have a quick chat with me.
No worries. Nice to see you.
You too. As I was just saying before we hit record, I think it's really, really useful for other people who are considering joining the Food Mindset Mastery Circle to hear from folks like yourself who have just recently been through the program. Because, just like you and I, they have, people, we've tried so many things. We've tried all the things. And we are always wondering, like, is this going to be the next right? Is this actually going to help me? Is this going to be any different? So that's why I wanted to just have a quick chat with you and ask you a few questions about your experience so people can hear from you what it was really like to go through the program.
Alrighty.
All right. Okay. So again, I kind of just touched on this, but tell me a little bit about what had you tried? I know, like myself, you had tried many things before our paths crossed. So I'd just love to get a little bit of sense of, like, what did you try? What did that journey look like before we came together?
Wow. Where do I start? It was long, it was painful, and totally unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Everything I did, I would have momentary success. And, at one point, I think there was about 5 years of success that I had. And then slowly but surely, I got back into my poor ways. And a lot of what I did was, yo-yo dieting.
Right.
You lose a couple, you put on a couple more, you lose a couple more, and it goes back and forth. I've done fad diets. I remember doing a cottage cheese and Melba toast diet once before, and that's all you ate. And oh my gosh, like now I know well, I shouldn't say stupid. It wasn't stupid. How uninformed it was of me to do something like that.
Yeah.
I tried hypnosis even, which worked really well for a while for me personally. And then as time went on, again, just slipped right back into my old habits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so many of us can relate to those experiences that, taking one step forward and two steps back and, just doing that dance over and over again. And it just starts to feel exhausting and also a little hopeless, right? Like, is there ever going to be an end to this?
Yes.
I think we can all relate to that. What do you think was the real reason why all those attempts and the cottage cheese and Melba toast and all the things, why didn't those work long term?
Well, yeah, I think it all comes down to sustainability, right? At the end of the day, you don't want to be eating A, B, C, and D every single day in, day out. You want to be able to enjoy and celebrate with your friends and your family. I mean, we all have birthdays. We all have, let's just celebrate the beautiful weather right now. And you don't want to have to be doing that with cottage cheese and Melba toast, or the same 3 fruits or the same 3 vegetables. You want to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to choose to have this. And when you're feeling deprived, I think that kind of just encourages you to fall off the wagon, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then, you signed up for the Food Mastery Circle back in January. So now that having done we're almost done, so 6 months of the program, what do you think have been the biggest differences in the approach that we've taken versus what you've tried before?
That's a really interesting question, and one that I've been kind of thinking about myself, because this is just so totally different than anything I've ever experienced before. And it's really hard to condense it into kind of like a soundbite sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of it is, it's individually based. I mean, we work with you, we meaning our group, worked with you as a group, one-on-one. We had the support, and I have to say here, the total empathy from you. I never once felt judged by you, especially when I was saying, oh my gosh, I totally messed up, I did this. You were just so understanding. It's like you understood me. You got me. It was like you walked my walk before, and you helped me process things by asking the questions that made me reflect and made me think. And wow, huge difference. And that, believe it or not, is a really small part of it. The other part is the format, that once a month we had what I called webinars with you, where you would give us some information on a given topic that had to do with us being our better self, because it wasn't always about food, right? It was about us being our better self. And then we had once a month where it was me, you, and the rest of the group, where we could just kind of, I called it my check-in. We could say, hey, how things are going for us. And this was great, but this was not so great. We could be honest. And then on top of all that, we actually had a one-to-one call with you that we can speak specifics, so that if I wanted to know, for example, what are some really nutritious snacks that I can take on the go, that I'm in control of the ingredients, you were able to go, oh, well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And that is really, really helpful, to have that individual one-on-one assistance and help.
Yeah, I know. It's so important. And I know, again, from myself, from doing coaching with other people, there's nothing like sort of having that person in your corner that's really gets you, knows where you're at, and can really, help you steer the ship a little bit. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So then, now that we've sort of come to the end of the 6 months, what have been the biggest shifts for you? Like, what were the biggest ahas, or what big differences did you notice? What has really been the transformation for you?
Oh, that's another loaded question, because there's been so much. And to pick out just one or two, or even maybe three really key points for me is difficult, but I'm going to try. I think one of the big learnings I took from this is not to judge my self-worth based on a number, whether it be a number on the scale, whether it be the size of clothes I'm wearing, and also not to compare myself to others, because I think we all have that that challenge. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're a size 2 or a size 22, you always think, maybe I could be thinner. Maybe I could look better. So it was about making it my journey, and being grateful for what I was learning, and being grateful for the body I was given, and learning how to do what works best for my body. And part of that came from the mindful eating. Right? People always talk about mindful eating, but to me it was some kind of like, ooh, hocus pocusy thing out there. Like, what exactly is this mindful eating? It's not magic. It's really not. And it's whatever you want it to be. For me personally, mindful eating is slowing down. It's chewing my food more and savoring my food more. And that may not be the same for Jane, and that may not be the same for Kathy, but that was my mindful eating, and that really worked well for me. The self-love that we talked about, and it's a mind blown. I no longer desire those foods that were problematic for me before. And bizarre, did we ever talk about food? No, we didn't talk about food. What we talked about was what's going on in here, and how is this relating to our bodies, and how our bodies are feeling. It was, truly, it was transformative. It's been 6 months now, so I've had my moments, and I've been able to talk to you, and also the group. It's really nice to have a group on the journey with you at the same time, that you can connect with, who get you quite like yourself. You, for whatever reason, get us. You just exude this total empathy. Instead of saying to me, oh, that's too bad you fell off the wagon, which would be sympathy, you would do the, wow, that must have been really hard for you, which made me feel so understood. It's like, you got me. And the other ladies too in the group, they would say, oh yeah, you know what? I understand where you're coming from. where are you going to go next? And sometimes I'd say, this worked for me. And it was great because then you got some ideas that maybe you never thought about yourself.
Yeah.
So those are just a couple of the things, because like I said, I could go on probably for hours about all the changes, listening to my body, letting my body dictate when I'm hungry, not a clock. Letting my body dictate that, today I need to eat more than what I did yesterday, because my body's telling me, and I need to trust that and trust the process. Maybe that's the takeaway. Just trust the process.
I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. And can we just say from a superficial point of view that you and I actually had to have a conversation about how we could get more fat in your diet because you were losing so much weight?
Yes. And it was interesting, because I have to say, I know you said nobody ever comes here and doesn't want to lose weight. Well, hello, I was the one, I didn't have to lose weight, but I was so sick all the time, Sarah. I know that you and I have talked about all the ailments that we had. And you mentioned to me gut health, which I don't know, I guess my head was in the sand because it's everywhere, but I never noticed it. Mm-hmm. And then once I started looking into gut health myself and making some changes, like literally my pants were falling off, bought a dress for the wedding. Like, oh my God, it's getting too small. I got to stop losing weight. So
Yeah. A problem that a lot of people would like to have, but not what the program's about, but a nice benefit as well. Okay, awesome. So my last question is just, again, given that registration is open now and people might be sort of on the fence and considering, should I, shouldn't I? I've done so many other things and they haven't worked. And what if this is just another one? What would you say to, say, a friend of yours who had struggled the way you had struggled and was really thinking about, jumping into the program, but was just like, I don't know if it's going to work. What would you say to her?
I have said to more than one of my friends who have said to me, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You look great. I'm like, I send them over to your website, and they're all connected there now. But what I say is, just do it. Mm-hmm. It's so worth it. And it's not an eat this number of calories. It's not a eat this amount of food or this type of food. It's about, something I never ever would have thought of before I met you. And it's about the mind connection, mm-hmm. and the body mind and the gut, truly the gut mind connection. Yeah. And I've said to them, you know what? It's work, but it's good work and it's sustainable. Yeah. I went to events and I had a dessert because I wanted a dessert. And I didn't have to say, oh, I can't have that. I had a glass of wine because I wanted a glass of wine. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing that's taboo. So if that's what you want your life to be, you want your life to be easy, do it. Yeah. I went off track. I know I always do. I do apologize for that.
No, it's fantastic.
But it's change that comes from the inside, mm-hmm. and it's change that comes from your brain. And it truly is sustainable. And as I said, for me, it's like nothing I have ever tried before. And I am just so grateful. You know how much I love you, and I love what you stand for, and I love how you educate us without judging us. It's all education, no judgment. You get to make your choices, and Sarah is never going to say to you, well, I think maybe you should be, it's not going to come, or she never says, well, do you really think you're trying hard enough? I've got that before in a program. Well, do you think you're following it like you're supposed to? I'm like, well, that's not helpful.
No.
So if you want to feel understood, if you want to make lasting change, do it. Just do it.
Thank you. Oh, that's lovely. So beautiful. Thank you, Carolyn. I think that gives us such a great sort of sense of your experience in the program. I really appreciate you taking the time to share that with us. And I know it's going to help some people that are kind of like wondering, is this the right thing? Because I totally appreciate that people are hesitant because, again, like you and I both, how many things did we invest in and try beforehand before we kind of figured out this missing piece of the puzzle? So I think this will be really helpful. So thank you so much for taking the time. It was lovely to see you.
It's also always nice to see you, and thank you so much. I know that you are a service that I paid for. Mm-hmm. However, I can't thank you enough. You have made such a difference to all aspects of my life, like from my energy to my health to my self-awareness. It's like, just like my mind is blown. I say that a lot when I talk about you, mind blown. But I always have to do this with it. But
I love it. I love it.
yeah, thank you. Thank you
Thank
so very much.
you. Thank you. I so appreciate that and love you so much.
Love you too. And those of you that are thinking about it, just do it.
Thanks.